Good morning. There is an undeniable rise in gaslighting one another. Psychological manipulation is taking place. But it's not just like one or two main operations running. There seems to be like tens of thousands of psychological manipulation taking place, or psychological operations taking place to manipulate your brain. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is letting you know that our downfall, breaking up the abuse of children, it's funded. There is no funding for anything that's decent. There is no funding for the safety of children. There is no funding for family. There's only funding for feminist, chauvinist, effeminate pigs. Morning. Fathers have been taking out their children's lives. It's known as abandonment. They want the fathers to feel helpless. They want the children to feel hopeless, helpless and abandoned. They know fathers are very loving, the most loving, and in many cases unwilling to sell out, unless they've joined one of the Freemasonic Catholic cults. Then you know they've always had a price. They've always had a price. Doesn't matter how little it is. The little piglets sell out for so little. Selling children out for so little. So the gaslighting for me comes when I've let you know for well over a decade there's a funded charity called Women's Aid. Heavily funded, and it's grown in the last decade. But they only fund women willing to be violent. But the thing is, Women's Aid are willing to be openly pushing for fatherless children. They're openly pushing for abusive women. I can see some comments today. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Today I'm wearing the last jacket. Last sort of winter coat. No. Last autumn kind of coat, or expensive coat that I bought. It's going for sale today. If you're from the UK, you might know Barbour. If you want to buy this, it's the last thing I've got left. Heating, hot water and some sustenance in my belly is going to be the most important thing. So hopefully this will be sold on Vinted or something like that. On Vinted it will be sold for half the price that I want. But if you really want it for a cheap price, I'll give you it. I'll give you the wee button as well, you can have that. People like stuff. But I don't know why I can see this morning. I can read this. Everyone like the stream now. Everyone like the stream now. How many listened? I still can't see. None. No one likes. But I understand, I mean, I fully get this. I've done this for, 10, 12 years, right? And I've never had a video blow up to be anything. Never had. Some of these wee comedy 1 minute shorts, people have enjoyed some Freemasonic comedy from the early noughties, which I liked myself. I liked a bit of Peep Show and Father Ted, Harry Enfield and Chums, Paul Whitehouse. I quite enjoyed these things, but no, I don't really have any enjoyment. The enjoyment's been taken out of life because my children have been taken away, and this is the whole point. I don't feel any enjoyment since my children were abducted, and I can tell you the story of the abduction, which I've said 1,000 times. And you ask silly questions and gaslight me and try and cause me pain or more suffering, which is pretty impossible for you to do. But it hurts my wee feelings inside. But I've learned that those feelings deserve nothing, like my hunger deserves no satisfaction. My life deserves no happiness. Just what takes place, we have to just find happiness in just what takes place. And I don't have the happiness when I don't have my son and daughter with me, and I don't know if they feel safe. I don't know if they feel loved, cared for. I know they don't feel safe about their daddy because they're taught to hate him. And if you can think of a terrible thing to say to a man, like for example, if you want to say he's a rapist, and if he is a rapist, he deserves to be shouted at that he is that. But if he's not and you use that as an allegation, something's very psychologically wrong with you, and you are abusive. If you find out that a charity that's funded, like women in a charity offered this story to a woman. You psychopathic losers, you child abusing scumbags. We finance what? These feminist child abusing lowlives, and you know they're called Women's Aid and you know they're still funded, and this is over a decade on and we're still funding fanatical feminists to abuse their own kids, and we call it care. I'm getting taken away with the comments. MAGA, 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 make America great. By killing the rest of the world, by running psychological manipulations all over the place. I mean, you don't know what's going on. You don't know you know, every single person you're showing on mainstream anything on YouTube, they're absolute liars. They're liars. They're funded liars. They're funded child abusers. They're satanic paedophiles. The network is so vast. There's so many operations being played by the military right now that you've got no idea what's going on. You've got no idea. And they're going to continually attack anything which in any way has any kind of peace, happiness, joy, love, prosperity, anything decent in their life. They want to shut that down right now. That does not exist in this timeline. You don't get any of that. So I topped up my phone. I spent money on my phone. I spent money on phone and I'm buying like literally nothing decent to eat. Because I've got my fat and my oil. I've got my low-fat cottage cheese and my linseed oil. And that's the emergency stuff. But over the last couple of days, bacon rolls, about 100 eggs. Why are eggs so cheap? I trust none of the food right now. I keep being distracted by these comments. I've not been able to read any of the comments the last few days. I've got no idea why I've got that. Say Christ is Lord. Yeah, I mean, the fake Christian movement, the fake Jews, like the intermarrying, the mingling, the child abuse, nothing's right anymore. Family isn't family. What you get shown to be fathers are little effeminate pests. Everybody you see in mainstream or on YouTube, they're funded or related directly to the military. Anyone with any type of money always has a link to the military. Always, always. And if they're not, they're certainly blowing a wee man that is. That's too much. But what's the gaslighting about? The gaslighting is the factual information about child abuse. The fact that we are funding feminists. We can tell you the names of the people. We can tell you the names of the organisations. We can tell you the countries funding them. We can let you know quite easily it's court documented. 3 hired judges understand in Poland. 1 hired judge in Edinburgh fully understood and removed the passport from the beast. But all of the services, the police, the prosecutors, they all assist the Catholic cult member, they all assist the feminist funded abuser, they all assist the funded abuser, the child abuser. But now we've got these feminists running everything. The feminist folk, the little women that couldn't handle themselves are so backed up financially to walk away from their children. Every morning they get to just walk away and turn their back on their children. Yeah, but I'll make £200 today. What? 30 years ago I was making that in one sale. 30 years ago I could sell a gas and electricity contract and make that money. Fast forward 30 years and we're breaking up family. We're using that type of money to buy off cheap women. And we have a lot of cheap women. We have that's the minions, the chauvinistic little piglets. And I see lots of men and speak to lots of men. They're usually willing to approach even the men that try and tear a strip off you. And they always try and do it psychologically. They agree with you halfway. I'm finding middle road with you and I'm agreeing halfway. And yeah, I mean, we all sort of bleed the same blood and shut up. And Freemasonic manipulation of basic decency. So life is really difficult when you talk about Freemasons. When you're from a town like this, when your Freemasons are the oldest business in the town, when the Catholic cult is the main religion running the place, or they own all these big buildings that you call churches, the Catholic cults, they own them. I don't really have much to say other than what I'm going to repeat constantly. You need to start feeding yourself something other than the crappy food. There's a friendship. I like having friendships with birds and stuff as well. I've paid so you can watch me today. I've paid the £15 administration fee from O2 to get 25 gigabytes, and they've offered me 50 extra direct from the UK military industrial complex. The security services are offering because they found out that I can actually just turn my phone off and forget it. They've seen that I can just, I just don't want to bother. And I don't want to bother. I don't want to bother now. I don't want to bother any of these nice people that are going to come and jump about in here. I don't want to bother the young men that take in the nice women with the tight pants and try and make them healthier. 3:10 AM. I've got no idea. It is 8:10, 10 past 8 in the morning. Saturday morning? 10 past 8 on Saturday morning. What am I doing at 10 past 8 on Saturday morning? I couldn't sleep last night. I was hungry when I went to bed last night because I didn't want to eat any more eggs or bacon. I'd already had 3 bood figs. That was enough. I've not done much workout this morning. Rolled out of bed and done some press-ups, but I've not done nearly enough. I just can't be bothered. I wanted to switch this on because I was watching like a few people and they're going through the same issues, like a boy, Tom, English refugee, always getting psychological manipulation, always been psychologically manipulated, always facing nonsense. He's now called Black Mirror and he's well worth watching. They hate the fact that he can find some peace and joy in this terrible life when there's nothing for us, there's nothing for fathers, there's nothing for men, there's nothing that you feel worthwhile to move forward with. And that's why people are turning so often to drinking, alcohol and drugs. Parking your car, then getting back in the car and rolling it forward and parking it again. It's like women take about 10 attempts, and I'm not just making this up. A woman just took like 5 different attempts to move a thing inside a wee rectangular square thing. I'm sorry, I know. Men make it worth. That's what we do. Yeah, we do. We make whatever this is right now, and these jackets are starting to annoy me because although I'm cold. I would be outside my back door wearing a small pair of shorts and nothing else. Normally I'd be outside my back door just wearing a small pair of shorts trying to work out, but I've physically not seen the sun. I've just not seen it. I've not seen it in like 2 weeks. I think it's maybe been there for about 30 minutes. It's come through this thick smoggy cloud, and to make anything out of life when you're given this. No, you can't see your children. We understand. We fund the takedown of your children. You understand that. You're trying to let people know. We hate the fact that you're trying to let people know. You've been effective at letting people know, so we're going to take away all of the platform. We're going to make sure that no one gets to see. We're going to shadow ban most of what you ever say and do. The last 10 years that you have produced videos, we're going to make sure they disappear, and the only ones you have are the ones that are creeping about in old phones. But I've been telling the same thing, and I've not had anyone reach out from the Scottish Government who's funding the downfall of Scottish families. You'd think the Scottish Government would have some indicators on assisting the growth and happiness of its population, but it's not. It's owned by the American establishment. Our entire SNP and our entire Holyrood and all of the Scottish Parliament is run by America somewhere, or is run by billionaire Europeans. It's not run by anyone that's given a position, because they're little boy touching fiddlers. They're the most little effeminate, measly wee, sticky wee fingered, fat chubby fingered men. Boy lovers. Like, they aren't men. What we have in there pretending to have any kind of decency is demonic by nature, sold out before it was given its platform. And you know that these guys are called post turtles. We've spoken about this before. These MPs, like, Donald Trump isn't a post turtle. He can handle the position of president, but it doesn't mean he's not a rancid little liar, a sellout. You know he is. You know he is that. You know he wasn't shot. You know that. He's an actor. He's a bad actor. And everyone round about him is making sure it looks believable. Everyone is just, that is the directors. That's who's directing every single move of every single person. But AI is operating so many different things that you can't understand what's going on. It's not, you will lose your mind if you try and figure out what's going on right now. Because they've got backstories for the manipulation that's just been played. They've got backstories to say, for example, Charlie Kirk's wife really does love him. And I mean, you can see what you've seen in the news is just the news manipulating it. She does not love her husband and was part of this takeout. She was put in there 10 years ago or 5 years ago, whenever they met, to have kids and be this honey trap. I'm aware that happens. My ex-partner's the same. She didn't love me. She wanted what I had. She told me she couldn't have kids. She tried to be an ex-partner. I said, we can definitely have kids. She got my kids. She used my kids. She sold my kids. She abducted my kids, she abuses my kids. Now her mum and dad have my kids. They gave her a flat for my kids. She couldn't afford to do any of this. Good morning. She wouldn't have been able to afford to do anything against myself. I could afford to go to court, I could afford to do all of this stuff, but the charity made sure that I was pushed into poverty because they financed every single thing she done in court. Every single solicitor she had, they paid for. I had to pay for mine. I had to pay heavy money for some of the best solicitors in Poland because they spoke English and they had worked in America and they had worked with the American family system, and the American family system is simply a business. It's a business to take out fathers. It's a business to make fathers abandoned from their children. It's a business. It's a very, very, very wealthy, a very well thought out and a demonic business. And the business is breaking family. Whether you're going to break the family through a little chauvinistic pig that's cheated with a 1,000 teenage girls, or that was the thing to do in the 80s and 90s. Now the chauvinistic pig is just a feminist sellout who will sell out her children. Because before, when I was young, I don't think you had very few women that would sell their kids out because there were more mothers. But maybe that's just in my head. Maybe the Eastern Star were always so heavily funded and in control, and the Women's Institute always just with, oh, they're violet and white, oh, we need to just keep everything under key, everything's under wraps, even all the way through the First and Second World War, everything's been kept quiet, we don't know much about this. Yes, we do. The psychological manipulation, every single thing you've shown since the First and Second, all of that, every part of that, it's a lie. Every single part of anything you've ever thought was history is nonsense. It's a game they've played in you. It's a wee TV show. Now they're actually funding the abuse of children, the terror of children. They're breaking the... I've been called a terrorist. I've been thrown in a prison cell in Poland as a terrorist. I get thrown in a prison cell as a terrorist. I lost it. Since the day I was taken off the street in Gorzów Wielkopolski by a friend of the family, Prosecutor Catherine, a friend of the family who goes to the same church, Jana Pawla II, she took me off the street by the hand of a young small policeman who I could have slapped round the face and told to go away, but I showed him respect because he said to me, no, don't worry about this. And then from that, he phoned Prosecutor Catherine and she said, hold him as a terror suspect, which means I had no right to contact the British Embassy, had no right to speak to a lawyer, had no right to speak to my family, and was thrown in a dungeon. And they held me, no food or water. And people still support that, even though I can show it's court documented that the funded abuse is given by the government on a funded charity, which is right across there and right behind me in here and in Paisley. They're all funded. You don't care. You want to call me names. You want to say I'm the wrong'un. And do you know what? I've been a wrong'un in my life. I've done wrong things in my life. And I can admit all of these wrong things, and you hate the fact. Oh, I still do wrong things. I hate the fact that I use bad language comes out of this potty mouth sometimes. I feel as if I shame the Holy Spirit inside me. I grieve that, and I cause pain inside myself, and I don't want to. I want to forgive these beastly women. I want to forgive and love the Babcha of my ex. I want to show them love and respect, but they're shown every day that they've got no compassion or respect for our children. Kasia and I have children, a boy and a girl, Ava and Matthew, and she abuses them every day. The charity which was funded, all of this is court documented, is still funded to this day. They literally abuse children. They're called Women's Aid and they're funded to abuse children. Why would we fund any charity which is court documented to cause children's life despair and cause family abandonment and cause fear and loss? Because that's the point. This is the point. Every single thing going on. You think of the number of people that supported Donald Trump when he got shot. You think about just that psychological manipulation. You think about that psychological warfare played on the world. What was it? See, if you listen to anything Donald Trump said after that, anything Donald Trump says after that, you'll find out that that guy was more interested in how many views the fake shooting got. He talks about the billions of clicks that it got. He talks about that. He doesn't talk about his magic ear healing powers or... he doesn't talk about anything that he understood. He didn't talk about the direction, the stage play or any of that stuff. But they'll always let you know. It's not as if any of this is secret. What happens within our Scottish Government is it was designed and prepared months ago. But now AI can design and prepare this within seconds. AI is not smart. It's using lots of other wee demons' ideas. It's taking what they write as statute and putting it out as law, and AI uses all of the fake history as if it's real. You want me to read this big long thing that you've put here out? I need to brighten up my screen. I need to brighten up myself maybe. It says that I need to sign in. There's 200 people on there and they've pressed like. I've just brightened up my screen. Oh, 200 people. I've got 500 people. Hang on. What have you to do? 100 people, you have to like and subscribe right now. Like and subscribe. Then you'll be supporting fathers and their children and their rights of family, the rights of family values, and to stop this horrible movement called family law. Within family law, all we do is make money off abusing children. Family law, we make money off the abuse, the abandonment and the helplessness that we teach and cause children. What have we done? Why do we fund feminist fanatics willing to do that? And how can you have a father that can come on and he's been through court, I've lost everything. If you want to, please buy this. I'm not selling this beautiful scarf that I got for the second-hand shop down the road for 50 pence. But this jacket, £110 it'll be on sale. £110 it'll be on sale for today. That's half the amount it was when it was new. Actually, £115 it should be then. But I'll sell it because I would prefer to have some food and hot water. There might come that point where I'll have a full 50 quid and I can afford a flight to Germany, and I'll fly across there and I'll phone up some people and say, can you come and pick me up from this lovely airport with these lovely people? Now that I'm in Europe, I'm away from the Scottish paedophiles. No, you've just entered the European paedophile ring. If you come to Belgium, they're going to try and scare you out of the town. If you come to the Netherlands, they're going to try and rush you away from here if you dare speak openly about fathers and family and children feeling safe. They hate that you might feel secure. They hate that you might get and see your children. They hate that you might actually let women women and mothers, listen to what I'm saying, women and mothers know that the fanatical woman, the abuser, you're going to suffer. Kasia, you're going to suffer. Your mother will suffer. You will suffer for what you're doing. I don't want you to suffer. I talk about the suffering. You know I've not spoke about half of the criminal things that you've done. Half of the really shady, abusive, thieving things that you've done. You know I've not spoke about half of them. And I've not spoke about half of them because you're the mother of my children, but I'm going to tell everyone about the fact that you've received funding from Women's Aid, the fact that you called me a rapist because that charity wrote down a story for you. That charity wrote a story for you to call me, the man that you said you loved and had children with, they wrote a story for you to call me a rapist, and you decided to tell the police that I was a rapist. My home, I lost my family, you abducted my children, and the reason you was to be able to abduct and abuse my children. Hello to people saying hi of this conversation. You look like you have 10. I'm just a little boy man as well. I'm a little failure. I'm a father, and the thing was, I managed to become a father with a woman that I believed would have given me the chance to be a father, but I didn't know that she was a sellout, and she took our kids away. I know we're trying to take the point away, the same as we always do. We're trying to take the shine off the abuse of children and the fact that it's funded. We don't want to talk about the women's charities. We don't want to talk about the women's charities that are funded by the Scottish Government are the ones abusing children. There's lots of wee women walking in here that aren't mothers that deal with Women's Aid and work in here. They are beastly and frightening looking. They're not very feminine. I like to talk to people at Northern. I like to speak to people here every day. I love to come and speak to you. I'd love to see you guys face to face. But I know most of you people would like to put a bullet in the centre of my head, and I would probably accept the bullet from this from most of you. 23 hours of each day. There's an hour of each day that there's a bit of joy and happiness and something that just comes through saying, if you don't smile or speak nicely or think nicely about these people, there's no point in going on. There's no point continuing in life. Your family may make you feel that way. Well, they're simply not going to be there. And when you ask them for the help, they're going to show that they won't even make the phone call to check to see if you're safe or well or fed or... Yeah, the very basics have been taken from you because family is supposed to be breaking down. But should we still fund the abuse of children? I'm in Scotland, this is the UK, and we know the Scottish Government funds abusive women. It's funding, it's making women write down stories to call you a rapist. I'm not a rapist, but you can be a rapist today if your partner goes to Women's Aid and they don't like you. Because that's the kind of stories they will write down. Women's Aid or what? Listen, do you want me to make sure that your kids don't get to see your ex-partner? Because we can do that for you. Women's Aid do that. This is what they do. Let's see. God, prayer, love and light. I understand where you're going. All of this whole love and light nonsense movement, the whole love and light, it's great. Love is great, light, fantastic. If you do see or believe that your eyes are opening and you can see past that veil of illusion, which most of you can't see past the veil. It's a very slight, thin veil, illusory veil, but it's right there. If you didn't, you wouldn't join in with most of what's mainstream. And what I'm saying, it's not just your mainstream TV. Your council's now mainstream run, operated. It's a psychological manipulation. Your shops, the food that you buy, everything there is there to gaslight you. Gaslight you because none of this is worthwhile. None of this is decent. No one's looking to protect children. Women will jump about screaming with crazy smiles on their faces to get the next bit of enjoyment that they want to get, and we'll fund that bit of enjoyment. And if they're crazy or psychopathic, we'll fund it. We'll find the psychopath, we'll find the narcissist, and we'll fund them. We'll fund them heavily to break up family. This is what's been going on. It's not difficult to find a narcissist. If you funded men and chauvinistic little pigs, the Freemasons, it would happen the very same way. If we funded chauvinistic charities, the very same thing would happen. It's just that I can't see men running through airports with children being supported by Police Scotland. Oh no, but maybe that man was raped off that woman. Or maybe we could get to that point where these jail-booted thug pigs we do believe that they are vicious. When we understand that they're vicious and we understand that they can fight as hard as any man. I get told that I used to beat my ex up. I'm positive my ex could lay me out. I'm positive Cash is big. Kasha would swing punches. She knocked both my teeth out. I've got a scar here and a scar here. She burst both my eyes open. I've never had any fight with any man, or even my brothers when I was young, where a woman burst both my eye and knocked out a tooth. Kasha done this to me. Cash, my ex-partner, who had children with me, she done this to me. And I believe after that day, that was when she said that I beat her. Because the only time there's ever been any confrontation where there's been any physical fight, and I'm talking with any relationship other than restraining hands, she beat me up. She bust my eyes open. I went to work the next day with Pollock Scott Trans Limited, and a guy called Mark Jackson was my boss. And Scott Pollock and Fraser Pollock, I told them at 5 asides, my friend elbowed me in the face and it cut across my eyes. And do you know what they said? Has she been hitting you again? Has she been hitting you again? While laughing. And it was definitely at 5 asides. Oh, I promise it was at 5 asides. I promise she didn't hit me, I promise. And she's away telling the police. And right now, with a funded charity, £1 million funded by the government charity, to call me a rapist and a woman beater. While she's beating me and she's calling me names every day, she's abusing me every day. My ex-partner was abusive. She was an abusive woman. Her mother was abusive, and I can see why my ex-partner was abusive. I just fancied her. I fancy, because I'm a stupid wee boy. It's like, oh, she looks so pretty. Like, oh, that pretty little thing that I want to have, and she's so pretty. It's like, I know that pretty little thing turns sour in about 3 months or 2 weeks, or if you leave it out overnight, that pretty little thing becomes a sour little child abusing beast. I mean, my choices are terrible. You can comment away on how much of a failure I've been. Hola, hola, or haha. I thought that said hola. My eyesight is so bad. I thought hola was, or haha, was hola. But again, listen, laughing at the terrible situations that take place in people's lives. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't just a thing that happened. This was funded terror in my life. This was funded terror to take away the money in my life, to take away the house that I owned, take away the flat that I owned, and let some stinking wee Polish child abuser be funded to abduct and abuse children. And as I said, I believe men would be in the same position if they had fascist fathers' charities, fascist fathers, Nazi, narcissistic charities, and that's what these women's charities are. They're fascist, narcissist, child-abusing charities. Those women don't care about children. Those women do not care about the safety of children. They will jump about smiling and screaming, ah, it's all about me, it's about my satisfaction, and it's about me getting what I want in this minute. That's all you ever want. Serve me, and serve me now, sorry. Dutch. You the only guy on lives right now actually talking sense. Thank you very much. I didn't know, there might be maybe only 4 or 5 people doing live things right now. I can only go live if I put out a video. If I put 2 hours of attention into making a video, YouTube normally whitewash it and take away all the information regarding Women's Aid being funded child abusers, Scottish Government being a paedophile network, the UK and the European link-ups are just European child abusing networks. We only fund feminist child abusers. We do not fund fathers and fund happiness or safety for the children for a reason. We only fund the feminist charities so they break up the family and so the father looks as if he's done something wrong. That's what I've seen every single time. I mean, you've had to make false allegations against me to make me look bad. Now I've lost everything after 10 years of being... I've been violated for 10 years. I used to have enough money to buy myself everything that I wanted and buy you everything you wanted, buy her everything I wanted, then take us on holiday and buy stuff across there as well. But now I don't have my food from farm foods that are on discount. I was given my government money just one yesterday and it's nearly gone already because I was at minus £200 and only gave me 3. They stop me from gaining employment and I get called lazy from people that work while I'm stopped from gaining employment. I can't be employed in this country. I probably could in some capacity, but not a legal capacity, because the Scottish Government said fathers don't stand up and tell the truth. They call us rapists and they get our ex-partners to tell the police that we're rapists, and the police then assist the child abusing liar because she's got a funded charity, and the only thing you'd done wrong was be born a man in Scotland. Free Israel. Oh, why don't you have I forget. There's lots and lots of things. Let's see. Just move to Afghanistan. Give us the money. Send me. I'll go Afghanistan. I don't have any trouble travelling, not at all. When I got to travel to Australia, I got to take in some weird and wonderful places I never thought. In fact, just years after Iran, Iraq, all of these places were being attacked and bombed. All of these places were very nice. You stop in places like Libya 30, 40 years ago. That's why they killed Colonel Gaddafi. They don't want good men doing good things for decent populations who have got a peaceful life. I mean, it's like, everybody deserves to have a home. Well, they did in a place in Africa called Libya. Everybody deserves to have a decent education. Well, they did in a place called Libya in Africa. And as soon as they found out there was no debt, and all of the people in the country got a stipend from the petrol or from the oil, I mean, every single thing that happened there should be happening in Scotland. We have oil here, we should be paid here, we should be paid a stipend here just for, this is my land. This is mine. This is yours as well. If you sound as stupid as me from a place like this is ours. And they steal our oil. They steal everything from us. And they tell us that we're useless, failures, abusers, rapists. And then the charities are funded to make sure that we lose everything that we've ever worked for in our life as fathers and men here. And we don't have anywhere funded to go. But the Women's Aid is funded to abuse my children. The Women's Aid is funded to call me a rapist. And no man comes and says, Joe, man, I'm sorry that happened. Let's stick together as fathers and make sure that fathers can't just be called rapists. No one helps. Like, so you just have to be content in being called a rapist and no one cares, even though they know that she's admitted in court that that was a lie. That riles your soul. That really gets to you. That breaks you down inside. The fact that you believed as soon as that was mentioned you would get to be with your children, and the thing was you did get to be with your children. You did get to see your daughter after that. But you're stupid and you forgave a child abuser. And what did that child abuser do? She simply sought more attention and more money. She's done the same thing. I think they done that to get the house off me. Like to get my Royal Bank of Scotland took my house off me at that point. I took my daughter back across here. By the time I get my daughter, the Royal Bank of Scotland had took my home, bought and paid for. I've got all the paperwork, it's mine. It's mine. It's mine. But Royal Bank of Scotland, a private business, was given assistance by Police Scotland, the same as the funded child abuser was given assistance. Because I'm the criminal. Even though years down the road you'll find out that I'm, completely innocent and a loving father. And I've decided to open a charity called UPAIN, which you're dropping by today, the Unified Parental Alienation International Network, so welcome along today. So if you think I'm talking sense, then it's not sense. This is what's known as court-documented evidence. It's not true. You don't get truth. There is no such thing as truth. We cannot prove something can only be that one way. There's no, we can't, there is no truth. The truth. The evidence supplied against me was a written document from Women's Aid given to her to read out to Police Scotland that I was a woman-beating, child-abusing, low-life rat that raped my ex that I loved. But a women's charity wrote this horrible story about me. They wrote this story. They called me the name. And it's taken years to show that I wasn't that horrible thing. And could I prove that I wasn't a rapist? No, I couldn't. It took her. She told the story and she blamed Women's Aid. They forced her to say that I was a rapist. They forced her to say I was a rapist. No, they didn't. They offered you. And you were beastly enough to take money. And you took the bait and you abused Matthew and Eva because you don't care about them. And the people on here, we have funding for this charity that's abusing kids. We have funding for Women's Aid still. We have funding for the beasts online. We don't have funding for fathers on here. So if you're a man and father, you're only here to attack me and break me, psychologically bring me down, and you can't do that. You can't do that. You can call me all the narcissist names, you can tell me to kill myself, and believe me, fathers are killing themselves at a rate. We really should be paying attention. We should not let another father put a rope round his neck, because right now, because of what you're saying and doing to me, you're trying to put a rope round my neck. Jesus does love, yeah, but you need to be aware, he loved, past tense, he loved. This is a wicked and the most wicked and sinful generation where we fund the abuse of children. We fund the brokenness of mothers, and women willing never to be mothers take the money and they abuse the children. And the charity that's funded to set up called Women's Aid, they're set up to abuse the children. And you're coming on to try and do this. You're coming on to try and belittle me. You can't belittle a message that's court documented. You can't belittle, you're belittling yourself and the Scottish Government when you're ignoring this message as it gets out to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people. And that's the truth. This channel's been shut down for year after year. And it's constantly shut down. Why? Because they don't like the fact that I can still put a smile in my stupid wee face when I've got nothing. I've got no food to go home to. I've got my son and daughter aren't there to go home to. There's empty beds in my house where my son and daughter used to lie. Empty beds are still there. And Eva loved her bunk bed. She loved it. She loved being in that bed. She loved playing and producing things in the room, and we love to paint and work together. Kasia wanted her interested in designer clothes, lipsticks and handbag. You're so painfully backwards, women. You're so painfully stupid if you take money to break up family. And the beautiful, strong woman, you are so amazing to see. And listen, you stand out. You amazing, strong women stand out. Hang on. Palestine, the Holy Land, will not fail. It's amazing the conversations that go on below when you're talking about the safety of children, the protection of family values. I mean, just to protect the core family unit itself is so totally ignored right now. You would rather talk about anything that's warlike, anything terrorist, like anything that's going to tear family apart. And there's nothing worse to tear family apart than a funded fanatical feminist. There's nothing worse than a funded fanatical feminist. I mean, Is there anything that you can actually say that this is very similar? It's very similar. You know that way when a woman calls a man a rapist and she's lied about it. What's the thing that's similar that a man does to a woman? Like he does that thing which is. I believe the real rapists simply wouldn't worry about this. I think if a man was a rapist, he wouldn't care. I think he wouldn't care. He'd probably be high-fiving his chauvinistic Freemasonic mates. And he's probably already strangled about 10 strippers, because this is what these little Freemasonic effeminate boy men do. They get little beastly women like my ex to go and dance for them. That's the entertainment these little beasts show each other. It's all demonic. Everything that's going on is demonic. What you're seeing on your TV screens is demonic. This is the least demonic thing you're going to see this weekend. I'm a nice, loving, caring father compared to most of these beasts you're going to look at mainstream TV. They're funded to take away family. They're funded to lie to you. They're funded to actually take away their own children and beast their own children. I'm not making this up. This is court documented that women are funded to abuse their own children. It's all done. No one cares. So what is gaslighting? Gaslighting is when you ignore the fact. You're ignoring the fact. Like lots of these, I can't believe these little left-wing women, they still play this sort of the bad guy, the bad family man, the bad father, let's take children away from their fathers. This whole narrative is constantly played out upstairs. The 1 in 4 women are abused by their partners. That the 1 in 4 women have to protect vulnerable children because they're being beaten by men. That's a lot of nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. The statistics that they give, especially when you know, when I deal with these people myself, because I want to speak to any woman that's saying she's been abused. If she's willing to speak, and if you've been abused, you want to speak about it. You don't want to go and hide it. But the thing is, they hide it because it's all nonsense or made up or exaggerated or lies. Whereas when we have court documented evidence of charities funded by governments to abuse family, charities funded by government to abuse and assault children and family, you don't just write about that, or it could be constantly commented. There's court documented evidence that funded feminist charities in the UK called Women's Aid are fanaticising women to take away fathers out children's lives. Now, I don't want to say to people I was called a rapist, but 1,000 times a day I'm willing to go, they called me a rapist, she called me a rapist. I can't express how much that ruins your life. I can't tell you as a woman, if you've ever made a false allegation against a man like that, you're a beast. You'll go to hell for that. You will go to hell and burn in hell for that. I don't know if hell is real. I think when you die, you're just dead. But you're not going to know about that until hell comes to you. You're not going to know about that until you burn. Spiritually burn. Not just those blisters you might get in your fingers from touching that hot kettle. The police haven't came today. The police haven't come down to tell me that I'm causing a disturbance today. At Asda they would come, at Lidl they would come, at Tesco they would come, in the main street they would come. Because every one of these places have little feminist women that abandon their children with anyone, with anybody. You know, it's like you could literally place violent, feminist, fanatical women anywhere in this town because they run everything. There's lots of wee girls with short haircuts that look like boys now. Lots and lots of these beautiful young ladies that have decided that they prefer to wear tracksuit bottoms and have short haircuts. It's... I don't know what to say or do about these things. It's not that I'm waffling on, this is mine. If you don't like me or this stuff, listen, people that told me they loved me have actually done the worst things to me, so you strangers on here, you faceless people. No way, Ziggy, you're back. I wish I could do a shout out to so many lovely men that have they're always trying to keep my head up. I don't know how I come across. I know I'm a bit of a penis to most of you. I know most people don't like me, or I upset people. That's not my fault. I want you to get riled. I want to upset you. I want you to go and tell on the police because I've hurt your feelings. Because we need to stop policing feelings. Because that's what we're doing right now. We're policing wee women's feelings. And if I tell a wee woman that Women's Aid is a fanatical charity with feminists willing to break up family, no wee woman supports me saying that. No wee woman supports me. But I know there's one or two mothers that do support me. But when you've got one or two mothers in front of 98 beastly wee feminists, there's very little those women can do. They're cannon fodder. And they do speak to you separately. Those women come up to you and speak to you separately and say, I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry that I'm so weak that I wouldn't offend you. I've got 1,000 people online telling me to kill myself, calling me a narcissist, calling me a loser, calling me anything, any negative thing that you can spray on here, you'll see it. Anything to do with getting us away from the message. I mean, this message is clear. Children are being abused by funded charities. The charities are funded by government. You know, the ones running these mass psychological manipulations in your town, and a town coming to you, they're going to be bringing you down because they're going to force you into all kinds of things. I mean, like the British ID card. All of this is nonsense. All of this is, who's going to make you do anything when you tell them no? If you can tell them outright no, and if you can speak your mind, if you have any idea how to lay out the details of what you want to say to someone, then you're going to win. If you can speak as a man, you'll get what you need. They'll push you into certain corners. I've been pushed into a dungeon and called a terrorist and a rapist. After having court documented evidence that she lied, I still get thrown in and called a terrorist. I mean, this is the kind of ridiculous things that women with power do. It was a woman with power. She was a prosecutor and a friend of the family. She just called me a terrorist and threw me in a dungeon and left me there for 2 days. That's what happened to me in Poland. That really killed me. If you see me as soon as I leave the police station in Poland, as soon as I get taken out of that dungeon, having to leave that place in Gorzów Wielkopolski, that woman was more frightened than me because she's seen what she done to me. She's seen that she nearly killed me in a prison cell for no reason other than to help this child abusing liar, other than to help a funded feminist, fanatical child abusing liar. She helped her because she's friends with the family. She's friends with the family. She goes to Jana Pawla II, John Paul II. What's that? F me, I thought I was bad and I've got ADHD. the bad psychology. God, I thought I was bad. This guy's really bad. I'm really bad. I'm psychologically broken, but my children have been abused by a woman that's funded by a charity that's funded by the government. I get called a rapist, and maybe to you that I'm as bad as a rapist, but I've been cleared of that. Not that I prove that I wasn't a rapist. She admitted that the charity was beastly and made this story up. So yes, your ADHD might be bad and you might think I'm worse, but that's your judgment on me. I'm a guy standing staring into a phone reading some half-baked small boys' messages. You don't like to know that about honesty. You don't like that. I did see something about facts here. You can always appeal to higher courts. You can. I've just told you the government's running psychological manipulations and funding charities. I mean, these courts, what do you think they're separate? Who writes the statutes in your country? Who writes that law? At some point, we're going to have to agree that we need the legal system to work. We need it to work. We need it to work for us and for our family and for our people. And I understand that you are funded feminists on here. I understand that there's so many like fake men accounts that are women, fake women accounts that are men, and lots of little children's accounts that are adults. Yous are sick. You're sick. I mean, for you to do your low-level psychology on me, firstly, you need to be aware psychologists have the most need for psychology, or for psychotherapists. Psychologists are in the most need for their own. Is that a profession? Is psychology a profession? I believe one or two people can do it, but there is no little certificate that's gold sealed and stamped and embossed to tell that you can be a psychotherapist or psychoanalyst or any of that stuff. But I see you trying to do that in the comments there. I see you try to fill in these things when the message is simple and clear. Women must stop being funded to abuse children. Women must stop being funded to abuse children. The Scottish Government must stop funding Women's Aid to abuse. There's evidence to show Women's Aid is funded by the Scottish Government, and the funded Scottish charity will write that a man is a rapist when he's not. They'll write that a man is a rapist, and you must make these allegations if you're a fanatical feminist pig. And what we've done, we have these fascist feminist pigs, and we fund them. We fund them to break family. And then we have lots of little guys coming on saying, oh, I thought my mental illness was bad. Look at this guy here. This guy here's a father, a strong man. This guy here could take you on any day of the week. This man here would still stand up for you and love you and hug you, even though you've called him names and you belittle the belief of family, you belittle the belief of fathers, and you belittle the rights of children. What's this? Ziggy. Want me to read your stuff at Ziggy? Bad things happened to him and he has become deluded. Very true. Bad things happened. My children are being abused, Ziggy, you little effeminate pig. You stupid little boy. Ziggy. There's nothing Ziggy about you. Maybe Stardust, you spaceman. You broken little effeminate badger loving you fucking scumbag wee boy. So the guy was abused at one point, and now he's so deluded. Oh no, the guy. Oh, I thought I was bad with ADHD. This guy's worse. Or my ex was a narcissist, but this guy's the worst narcissist ever. Children are being abused. My children are being abused. It was funded. The child abuse was funded. Women's Aid is a charity funded by them, by Women's Aid. Women's Aid write down stories to ruin your life. And if you're a fanatical feminist little pig, like my ex, a child abusing pig, then you can use that. So we're going to have lots of stupid little boys, little Polish nonsense. We're going to have lots of little men that love little boys. We're going to have lots of little boys that are controlled by little effeminate pigly women. And there's lots and lots of little boys with nothing between their legs, and they're controlled by these little effeminate child abusing pigs, because most of the child abusing men are with women willing to abuse children. All prime ministers, all of these people, they all have women that are willing to abuse their own kids. Because that's what the man does. That's what the man does. He abuses children, he abuses little girls. You want me to read your stuff out again, Ziggy? You want me to read your stuff because you're smart? The problem is child abusers, not women. No, problem's people like you supporting child abuse. The problem is this woman is funded to abuse. All genders. Genders, I mean, what is a gender? Firstly, you fool. Can't be all genders can't be child abusers. You are so idiotic. You are coping by blaming one group. It's a funded charity that's been funded to abuse and break family. You idiotic little fool. You say that, you write that, people write these things so other people might think you're smart, and you're not smart. I mean, you're showing yourself to. I know that most of you are low level, please. Most of you are working for government. You're little Jesuit government positions, pen-pushing lowlives. Now, the pen-pushers have become, I don't know, commenters on YouTube algorithms. I've seen you in so many other algorithms. But the thing is, you come on my channel and you make my channel, which has got, what, 1,000 people maximum today on it. There'll be 20,000 people today because of the amount of comments you've made, and more people will get to see. Because you're slagging me off and calling me all kinds of names, listen, I'm probably worse than what you're saying, but I'm still a better thing than you. It's better than you. I want to love and care and hug you, you little effeminate, child abusing spanner. And if I had a spanner, I'd wrap it around your neck, boy. Stupid little boy. You can't even string a decent sentence. I mean, yous have got so much to use against me. I mean, I'm crying on videos. I'm telling you exactly what happened to my children. I'm letting you know about the charity and the people. All of these things have names. Every single thing. But I'm willing to put myself out here and be the idiot. I'm willing to be an idiot. I don't need to gain respect from a Freemasonic Catholic cult town. I don't need respect from any one of these people. They show up and love and care for me, irrespective of what I do. They're aware that my children are being abused, and they're aware that feminist charities are funded. They're aware that on this that will do comments to try and get, I don't know, try and get attention for themselves. This is mine. This is mine. This phone belongs to me. I put £15 on so you can come and listen and make these crappy wee comments. I've paid so you can look idiotic. I understand what I'm doing, my friend. But I'm not looking to do it with any conviction. I'm looking to let men and fathers know we need to be aware that charities are funded to call you a rapist, even if you're not. And if you are a rapist, I'll come and get you and do you in. I'll come and get you myself and smash you to pieces. If you dare hurt any women, if you dare hurt any child or anyone I know, I'll smash you. And you know it. You know it. You would be afraid to stand in front of me because you're nothing. You're nothing. And not the fact that you can't even tear me a new ring piece while on here. You've got every bit of information because my heart is on my sleeve. My heart's on my sleeve. I couldn't care less what you think of me or what you write about me. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to be responsive or reactionary to it. I'm allowed to be responsive, I'm allowed to be reactionary. It's like if somebody's on my phone calling me anything or belittling my children, I'll get through them and I'll threaten them because they've threatened me using my children. You are protecting. Thank you. Obviously, I'm just doing what a father would do when he's been called a rapist and his children have been abducted. And we know who the perpetrators are. Women's Aid is funded. They were funded by the Scottish Government. So it doesn't matter what you say about me. What I'm telling you is all down there. What I'm saying comes from a loving man and loving father. Whether you believe that I'm a loving man and loving father, you can write the narcissist comments down there all day if you want. But it just makes my story get out to more people. So press like, press subscribe. I've said this twice today, and I've actually got more likes today than I've ever had ever. I don't have ever more than 50 likes, not ever. Look, I'm looking at them now and people are pressing like, so they don't care about your crappy wee comment. They care about children, they care about children's safety, they care about good women not being, I don't know, fanaticised by money. Good women can't be fanaticised by money, but the thing is, we've got vast majority of men and women, they want extra money, they want extra things, and I'm the same. I'm selling my jacket today. I'm selling my last jacket. It's a lovely wee jacket. It's got lovely wee bits saying it's all authentic, and you can own this jacket today for possibly £100 if you go into Vinted and check my account, because I've had to sell everything in my life right now because I'm not allowed employment since the day I was called a rapist. You know, it ruined my life. It ruined my life. They stole my home. The only thing I worried about was the fact that they abducted my kids. I couldn't care about my home. I didn't care about that stuff. I know I'm a narcissist that wants to look pretty sometimes, and he loves to be heard, and he loves to go out and be the centre of it. I like that stuff. That's how I became a company and business owner. I became a company and business owner because every day I could stand in front of my staff, in front of 30, 40 people, and speak to them. Now, those people slagged me. Some of them hated me, some of them loved me. But the thing was, I was still willing to stand up in a business in Australia as a 20-something-year-old and do this. The very same as I'm willing to do in Scotland, in the centre of my town right now. I'm willing to be heard and be seen. I'm willing to be heard and be seen because you should be willing to be heard and be seen, especially when it's about the safety of your own children. It doesn't matter what you want to say about me. Well, it does, it matters to me. It breaks my wee heart inside sometimes. I could stand here and one time I might just start crying. I've cried when I was at my mum's place before when I had to go and use her Wi-Fi. I've cried there. If I put on a song, like say 500 Miles or If I'm Crazy from Stir Crazy, I'll sing along with that and sing into the phone and sing and dance. I love singing and dancing, and when people see me singing and dancing, then you might want to join in with singing and dancing, or you might want to make a fool of me and call me some narcissist or crazy, or I don't care. You're allowed your opinion of me. But what you can't take away is the fact that Women's Aid is funded. They wrote down a story to call me a rapist to ruin my life. My ex-partner read that story out. It did ruin my life. She did get to abduct my children, and it's taken me years, and now I'm here. Whatever you think in between, you might be right, you might be wrong. I'll tell you what, it's been difficult. It's been a very difficult path. It's been a difficult 12 years. It's been very difficult, but it's been the most rewarding because I now have children. I never, do you know what, when I was getting to 35, it's like, I don't know, it's like, am I going to have kids? My mates had kids when they were like, some at 15, 16, some at 20, you know, they didn't wait until they were in their mid-30s to have children. But I was working, I wanted to grow a business, I wanted stuff for me, and while I wanted stuff for me, I wasn't going to be, it's more selfish having kids while you want the stuff for yourself. I wanted to be giving everything to my kids, and now she stole that. She sold that off to her mother and father. But it wasn't just some mistake, it was a funded charity. It was funded. It wasn't by error. It was funded. So I know lots of fathers that are maybe not, let's say I'm a narcissist, I'm the low life, I'm a terrible man, I've caused so much pain and I hurt so many people. I know as a horrible man, there's some nice fathers out there who's not as bad as me that's in a similar position. There you go. This narcissist, this abusive, horrible man, you've got ADHD, but I'm a lot worse. This psychologically broken man, and you can all put down how broken he is. He's willing to stand out and talk about the pain that he suffered because he knows that there's better men than him. There's better fathers than me that don't deserve, their children don't deserve this pain. You don't deserve to go through this for 10 years. You don't deserve to wake up in the morning and not know if they're safe. You don't deserve this. 60 people pressing like does not help you when you miss your kids. 60 people listening to you doesn't protect you. It doesn't in any way help you. None of this is helping me. None of this is going to be doing anything for me. This cost me money that I don't have so I can speak to you. Because I've not been doing that. I've been going and getting free Wi-Fi. The same as I'm going and trying to get free food. Let's see. Glass E. Mm-hmm. Well, it's amazing that lots of you are actually taking your time. It's been hours. Yeah, it's been hours. He's been mumbling, and you've been listening. This is my channel to mumble. I could call this the Mumbler's favourite channel, and it would probably get more views. I would get it pushed out in the algorithms. If I was a mumble champion of Mumbleland, and I mumbled for mumbling, and I had a big certificate and it was gold embossed to say I was the mumbling champion, then Google algorithms will work with me. Charities might be funded for mumblers, but they won't be funded for fathers. They won't be funded for the safety of children. And then we can have idiots like you mentioning these stupid things because it's just the security services. You're the security services. You've got a wee thing in your ear and you're walking about and you think you're not seen. You think you blend into the background. No, you're idiots. You're idiots that abuse kids. Yeah, of course I'm going off. I can go off whenever I want. I can go off whenever, wherever, however, and for whatever reason. And if you decide to watch, you can watch. If you decide to like, you can like. If you decide to subscribe, you can even do that. I've not taken any subscriptions away. I've not taken any sort of likes or whatever stuff away. I've not taken stuff down. I'm letting you see whatever you like about me. Why here? My dad used to ask that question. Why me? Why here? Why now? And then he was killed with cancer at the age of 64 by the very same predators. Freemasons, Catholics. You know they can kill you or your family. They can run anything. They've got 1,000 people on here right now to try and belittle a failure of a father, a failure of a man, a failure of a business owner. Failure. I've failed at every single thing in my life because it's led to here where I've nothing. And I get to sit and moan at you, and you get to call me names and show how big you are in front of lots of people, because lots of people are here on my channel. I've invited you along to my YouTube algorithm of military. This is militarised to the extent where I only put my phone back on yesterday, and I've been using it non-stop. I've had my phone. It's like, Joe, you've used 2 gigabytes of data, stop doing that. I can talk about what I like in this. I can mumble if I like on this. And the thing is, you're writing that stuff because you're jealous. You're writing that stuff because, although this guy's missing his children, and that's the number one thing, although this guy misses his children every single second of every single day, there's still people willing to come on here and belittle fathers. Although I speak about the safety and rights of children, you want to make sure that you belittle me. And you belittle me because all you have is the payment from these security services, because you're not being a man or a father. So let's read. Before I go, and I'm going to go, all I want is you to answer a question, right? All they want is me to answer a question, right? If you were innocent, why didn't courts rule for you to have access? Have you ever been to a family law court? Have you ever been to one of these courts? Look, we can speak about this. Let's go Alan Grade. Let's speak about what actually happened. Because the funded charity is there to break down the family. It's very difficult to explain. I can never prove, and you can never get access as a man if you've been called a rapist and have been abducted to a country where you have no home. My home and family life and everything. She was here. She came to Poland to live. She worked with a company my brother ran. My brother was a hotel manager or something like this, and she was working with him. She made beds. I'd got out of a marriage and stuff like that. These things happen to everybody. They don't just happen to me. But child abuse, this funded charity was set up to manipulate and abuse fathers. I mean, you might not be Alan Gray, you might just be some other person. You don't really have a grasp of what courts are or what family court is, but at the same time, thanks for asking such a good question, Megan the Stallion. But please, feel free to always come on and ask these things. There is a contact email. Feel free to. Some people do send emails. Some people contact. And if you have contacted and I've ignored the email, that's just what I do sometimes. Like sometimes I just press the hang up button on this, the X, and it stops. Lucky charms. I'm not Irish, am I? No, he's right. Sometimes James King James. Stop yapping and respond to the important question. They have. What's the important question? I mean, what you speak language? I'm supposed to be an English speaker. The system is failing men also. I am sorry for what you're going through also. Thanks, Pixie. I've been effed by family court because they're set up to do that. You know that these little women sitting in family courts, they're not judges. They're not judges. They're funded effeminate little beasts there to break up family. I've never seen a feminine woman in a family court. There's never been a judge in a family court that's supported any part of family. The judges in family courts are there to destroy family. They're there to call men. There to use false allegations against men. I've had it done. It's all been proven. And women turn their back when men look for help once the women have made false allegations. It's time for women to start standing up for fathers and men and children, because standing up for these wicked wee women, and there's lots of wicked wee women. You know they're part. You know who's in the Eastern Star. It's like, you know, all the guys here, although they're controlled by the Freemasons or the Catholic cult, they're not all a part of it, but they all do as they're told. And it's easy for you to pop up, and because I don't do as I'm told in this town, I'm an outcast. You're very much an outcast if you talk about the 307 Freemasons or you talk about the Catholic cult and you let them know that you would never, ever in your life join anything to do with them, because they've asked you. I was born a Catholic. When I became a Eucharistic minister, I used to stand in front of people in my parish and go, body of Christ or blood of Christ. So I was very close to the paedophile network. I was very close to those in the system. I did get through training in some way with the church, because you do have to train to become a Eucharistic minister. It's EHMC, something like this anyway. And then you have to write to the cardinal to leave that thing, because I was a teenager when I was a Eucharistic minister, but I chose to become an older father, because I chose the wrong woman, and it's a very simple thing to do. You can't choose a woman. It's like you don't know which woman's going to accept money to call you a rapist. You don't know. It's like, what guy in the world would ever know that a woman's going to use false allegations? What guy in the world? But the fact that the charity's funded to call men these rapists and things, that's disgusting. And as soon as we find out these charities are funded, then it doesn't matter if you think I'm a mumbler. It doesn't matter if you think I'm a narcissist. It doesn't matter if you think I'm a loser, a stupid guy going on about the same nonsense. Then it's been confirmed that children are being abused, and it's not by mistake, it's by funding. It's not by mistake, it's by funding. I was called a rapist, not by mistake, by funding, by a charity. Does that make sense to you yet? Is it going through your tiny little skull in this tiny little brain? Because that's what they call you. They call you small brain. They call you small brain. And that's because when you're a man and you're sticking up for any men and fathers, even men turn their back on you. When you try and say to a man, listen, my friend, she called me a rapist, and she didn't call me a rapist. The charity involved and funded wrote down that I was a rapist and it ruined my life. Men still laugh and walk away. Men laugh and walk away. Men smile at you. They smirk at you and turn their bloody back. Men should be here for one another. Fathers should be here for one another, but they're too busy laughing because they're wee Freemasonic cult members. They're part of the Catholic cult. And the Catholic cult's what owns the Freemasons. The Catholic cult's what owns your military. The military's what's running the internet. That's who owns it. I'm here for the rights of the children, for the rights of my son. My daughter's 12 years old. My son is 8 years old. They were abducted and abused by a woman that was funded by a Scottish charity. It's all court documented. There comes a point where we have to stand up for fathers and men. When they can come and speak about this, no matter if you think I'm an idiot, I'm a mumbler, I'm stupid, I'm a lowlife. You can think of 1,000 names for me. I've been called worse than you could ever imagine. I've been called worse than you could imagine. But the thing is, I'll come out the other end of that. Whether I'm mumbling or whether I'm slevering or whether I sound like Sean Connery, I'll come out the other end and I'm going to let you know that fathers, real men, real fathers will come out with their children and they'll be safe after this. Because the funding will come from it will come from big businesses. WASP, exactly. WASP. Okay, you're right. I've been abused as a kid. Does that mean my dad was founded? I mean, it's like the security services can't even come up with decent things to write now. I've been abused as a kid. Does that mean my dad was founded by a charity or he's just an ass? What are you talking about? If your dad hit you, he's a effeminate little boy. If your dad ever lifts his hands to you as a child, your dad's an effeminate little boy, and you might have been abused and you may have become one, because it's called intergenerational child abuse, and it's happening here, intergenerational child abuse, and it seems like you have been abused as a child, because I can tell by your language you're an abuser. I can tell by your manipulative language you're an abuser. Which charity name? And shame them. It's Women's Aid. And it was Edinburgh Women's Aid. They're in this building, they're funded by all of Scotland government, and they're funded by the millions of pounds. They've actually grown in the last 10 years. Since they've become so fanatical, they've grown. Hello. Good morning to lots of men, good morning to lots of fathers. I see so many of you great, loving, caring women standing up and support our fathers. I see you supporting your children. I see you turning your backs on these little effeminate Eastern Star child abusing lowlifes. We know that there's always a Freemason or Catholic cult paedophile stood behind the charity. We know that. We can see it. They're named. All of these people and places have names. Every single one. See, if I was standing talking about this and there was no legitimacy or truth to this, I would be taken away from here. I would be stopped talking. But the fact that the child abuse here, a father's willing to stand up in the front of his town and speak about it. A father's willing to come and speak about it. I want the funding to stop for these feminist child abusers. And I can show you, it's court documented, that Women's Aid was funded by the Scottish Government and they abuse kids. They abuse kids. Get help, I will get help. I mean, I am here on my channel getting help right now from you. Because you're writing get help, I'm getting help. You're going out your way to try and destroy me and you're helping me. Thank you very much. Look at the love pouring up the screen. Why is it pouring up the screen? Because so many people out there support the message that I give. Even when people hate me, they know that the message that I'm giving, the rights for fathers are the head of the family and children deserve to feel safe. You know that's right. You know that's right. Sorry, there's obviously someone. Sadly, he's right. A lot of people are too afraid or too broken. They're too broken down to speak. All too broken down and stand with each other, shoulder to shoulder. So many untold stories, my friend. You are so right. There's so many untold stories. And the thing is, this is not by mistake. This is all done by design. Women's Aid is funded all by design. They know they will abuse. They know they will tear apart. They know they will have children to rape and abuse in the future. That is why. Look at this. Get therapy. Thanks very much. Maybe you can be my therapist. You can be my therapist. The more you come on and write comments, the more help I'm going to receive. Now, everyone in the comments, press like, press subscribe. I might come back next week. You might be lucky enough to see me again. The narcissistic, horrible father. The one willing to stand about in his streets and talk about charities, even though that he could get a kicking any minute. Come and give me a kicking, I might start to feel something again. My friend said that to me the other day. He just wants to feel something again. He's a man, he's a father. But he just wants to feel as if somebody's there, somebody cares, that we actually give one toss for our kids. And he's got a woman abusing his kids, and his ex-partner's abusing his kids. And when the grandmother is as violent as your ex-missus, you have no chance. And the Babcha, the mother of my mother, the woman that she calls mother, the Babcha, the beastly, abusive, and I mean, I've never laid eye on a more beastly, abusive woman. I could never, ever trust any of these women in my life, and this is the mother of my children. And maybe that's me, maybe that's because I've become a failure. I've destroyed my fantastic audience. I hope I've not put you off today. I've ran well over the time. You're right. Show us the evidence. Release the documents. Oh, show us the evidence. Release the documents. Ziggy, come on. Come on, show me your face. Come and show us who you are, Ziggy. I'll show you everything that I've got. We have court documented evidence, and it was in the appellate court in front of 3 higher judges. So it's not, this wasn't just family court. This was appellate court. This was after the case the woman decided that I was a lot of nonsense and a useless father and I'd lost the case. This was after the fact, because this was appellate court. But it was a long, long time ago, Ziggy. You silly wee boy. And I know there's a handful of I know it's mainly silly wee boys out there. Hang on. It's said because your kids are suffering and you are making yourself look totally insane, which will work against you in court. It's already worked against me in court. Bro, we are keeping it real, not attacking. See the psychological manipulation in this love bombing, man. It's like, you're not even good at what you do. You're not good at what you do. Like, you're not my bro, man. Bro, we're really trying to do this for you, your kids, and you're just looking insane, bro. You know, bro, bro, you're looking and saying, no, bro, children are being abused by funded charity. Funded. You can't stand, I mean, it's like, it's a Scottish funded charity. Oh, give me some paperwork. You fool. Foolish wee boys. There's very few fathers on here, and believe me, it's like I write about these fake psychological analysis that you get on YouTube. I write about the fake analysis from the great psychologists, the mentally ill. But please, thanks very much for your help there, bro, man, bro. Like a lot of these coming through are just from like family members. They're from haters from my own family, my own people that called me brother, you know. But at the same time, they understand that there is evidence there, but it doesn't make a difference because women should not be funded to abuse children. And I've pointed out that's court documented. I've pointed out that a charity is funded to abuse children and it's called Women's Aid. They're funded all around Scotland, so it doesn't matter about your crappy wee stories, your crappy wee comebacks. Your comebacks are terrible. What you're saying and doing is nothing. You can't come back to me. You want an argument with me? Come and argue with me. I'll tear you several new points of excretion. Several new points. And I know there's fathers walking by here and they're listening. Some want to rip my face off and some want to help me. Every one of them keep quiet. Every one of the wee men's heads are down. And you feel secure and safe to come against me and speak online because I am one of the only fathers willing to come out and do this in his town. Because children see love and then women see care and respect. But that's only mothers. It's only mothers that see that. I know the vast majority of beastly child abuse and you're bought and paid for. You're bought and paid for, little boys. You're giving me more time. It's mine anyway and I've already paid for it. Your kids are alive, at least. That is why parents fight over custody. But we're missing the point. I see it's financial and ego battles. It's not, it is financial. The ego battles were lost years and years ago, man. We're funding the abuse of children through women's charities. It's not ego battle. This woman had nothing to fight or battle me in court with. She needed nothing. I've worked all my days and earned tens of thousands of pounds a week to be in the position where she wanted to be with me. She would never have been with me if I never made that money. I'm the mistake. I made the mistake by making the money. It's not, I don't look pretty enough for this woman to go, oh, it's his looks. I want to be him just for how he looks. And I know a lot of you wee effeminate men look at me and think, oh wow, he's a man, he's attractive. Do you know why you think I am? Because you're a little woman. I'm not an attractive man. I'm only attractive to you little effeminate boys. And you feel threatened by a man like me because I'll stand out the front of my town. Some of you are probably from my town. Some of you could be in the wee council buildings. You could be in the Women's Aid charity and you're trying your best to reflect on me looking bad. I look terrible. I couldn't care less. But I know you want to be like me more so than I would ever want to be like you. A faceless sellout lowlife drone. Faceless sellout lowlife drone? Yeah. And what do you do during the week? Oh, you're a morning office drone, doing as you're told in the council building, while your children are being raped and abused by the thing that you call government. And the government, the thing that you're supposed to trust, are funding beastly feminist charities. You failure. You're coming on trying to belittle me. Oh, at least your children are alive. Believe me, I've grieved the death of my children. My children have grieved me. You need to know that the grieving doesn't, just because I'm not dead, doesn't mean my children don't grieve me as their father. You're causing real psychological pain for the future in my children and in so many tens of thousands of other children. Tens of thousands, that's really me thinking, lowballing these. Tens of millions of children are being raped and abused. And the thing is, if we're going to set up feminist charities that take down family and fathers, we need to stop the funding when it's pointed out in court that the feminist charities are breaking families and using false allegations against fathers. Then you can write anything you want down there. You can write anything you want. Polish prosecutors are protecting the Polish family who abducted my children to Poland. Now, the Polish prosecutors that threw me in the prison in the first and called me a terrorist, you might even think I'm a terrorist. I don't know, I could be a terrorist. When I was young and used to watch movies like Back to the Future, terrorists were always like Libyan, and then I find that the Libyans were, yous have got homes and yous have got no debt, and your country's run by a man that loves and cares and respects you. So, everyone in Europe's going to hate the guy that's ran this Libyan country. But now what a terrorist looks like is a white man who's a father and who's loving. I know I'm a white man, I know I'm a father, and I know I'm loving. I know those things. You don't, I mean, whether you disagree with them or not, it doesn't make a difference. But the information I'm giving you is what I think I am, a loving man and father. I think you need to listen to the message that the fact that children are being abused by funded government, funded charities, funded. See, if I was funded to rape and abuse women, she would probably be getting stick while standing out front here as a woman telling you she's being raped. But you don't have to get it in that direction. You have to get it in the man coming and the man letting you know. They've said that I'm a rapist and I'm not worthy of being a father, and she said I beat her all the time. Shows the evidence. I'm the evidence. I'm the evidence. You can't come on and do what I do because you're a effeminate child abusing lowlife sellout. Stripper stranglers. Whitewater rafting and stripper strangling is what you do. You have your part-time hobbies. We can see that most of the policemen and most of the low-level security services on the green and white, on the green and white. Come on, Celtic. Who is this? Is this Darren? He's talking about football today. He's talking about Scotland qualifying for a World Cup that won't be on next year. Scotland's going to qualify. Celtic's going to win the league. Rangers are crap. Oh, everything's mental. Manchester United and football and everything. All of these distractions, you know, are demonic. Every one of these little things were opened up by the Catholic and the Freemasonic cults. Every one of these sports teams, bar none, they're all run by the Freemasons or Catholics. Every one of you are interested in, and you have investment in the cults that I'm against. Every one of you. That's what everyone in this town, that's why they're willing to badmouth or belittle me, because they're Freemasons and Catholics. They hate me. It's easy to hate me. You can come online and hate me. Let's see. Bagby aged well. It's Begbie. Begbie aged well. Maybe it is Bagby, I don't know. Oh, please, please, please. I stand with you. Thanks very much. Don't pretend you know me. Don't pretend you know me. Some of the comments are just impossible to understand. When I hang up in this, I'm still left with all of the goings on in my town. This is a Saturday. I do this through the week as well, and I get to see lots of wee women in and out of here all the time, and the people jumping about and willing to do things. But this is obviously a Saturday. It's a bit quieter right now, but it's busier with cars and people, if you know what I mean. It's quieter in the way there's less women pouring in and out to go to their wee dance lessons or skippy about lessons. But there's more men in the streets and more things going on, and people have got time. So they're hearing, they're listening, they can hear this. You left-wing Fruit Loop. I've never been left-wing in my life. But I'm aware that the right wing's the same bird as the left. I mean, you can't have one left wing and one right wing and it'd be a different bird. The Catholic and the Freemasons, it's the same thing. Stop. Fake. Laugh, bro. Wasn't E-Hat funny? When I giggle and smile and laugh, there's actually comments coming on to tell me not to fake laugh and not to do things. Don't do that and don't do this. You're this and you're that. I think you're this, and I'm going to give you my psychological, professional opinion on you over this. I'm going live so I get attention, so I can tell people about something really shit that's happened in my life, something really terrible, disgusting that's funded to happen in your life as well. If you live in the UK or Scotland, we put funding towards charities which allow women to lie about being raped. Now that takes away. Imagine you're a woman that has been sexually assaulted in any way, and then a woman steps in and lies that she's been sexually assaulted. How do you think the other woman that's been actually assaulted feels about that? Huh? Does that mean I'm a left-wing Fruit Loop or whatever? Or what would I be if I was a right-wing? Because I have more values for the right-wing. You know what I'm talking about? Like family safety and family values, and that would be very much right-wing. I'm talking conservative values. Do you not understand that? But the thing is, I need to know that my audience is so thick. I need to know that you're stupid. I need to know that your brain level, your little tiny brain, most of that has been sold off, so you function on information given to you. You don't function on information that you learned. You stopped learning years and years ago. Now you have to read what you're told that you have to think about. You brainwashed fools. You say the truth is court documented. Then show us all. Who's all? People will help if you have evidence. Listen, the charities in this building, the charities all over Scotland, I'm a single man stood here outside. There's tens of thousands of people sponsored and supported by this charity. They're in there. Now they can come out right now and tell me that I'm wrong, but they don't, because they know they did. They know what I'm saying is court documented, and they know what I'm saying is true, so they will not dare come out in public and speak, especially with a man like myself. They'll stick on and fund a little effeminate, beastly child abuser like you. They'll make sure they fund little Ziggy, the effeminate child abuser. Go on, Ziggy, go and say stuff to the man. And you'll go, man, can I say stuff to you, man? No, you can't, Ziggy. I'm going to read out some of your comments. Ziggy, you're a little failure. Ziggy, no one likes you. Ziggy, stop using the name Ziggy. Ziggy. Oh, we'll support you ever more if you show us the evidence that's court documented. Ask. They're in here. Women's Aid are here. They've got locations all around the UK. Believe me, if you stand up in front of any $1 million company and you make false allegations against them, they'll tear you a new back end. This charity could destroy me even more, to the extent there where they can come and say, we're going to drag this guy through court and ruin his life even more. I've got nothing to lose. And I would enjoy that type of fight. But you would then not be funded to come on and tell me otherwise. Because Women's Aid is a funded fanatical charity which wrote a story to say that I was a rapist. And you think I would come on here and make up the story? I'm going to prove nothing. I've said before, I can prove nothing. Now, you've requested evidence, but the people that need this evidence, the courts, the police, all of the charities, they have all of this. You can't even write a question out properly. You can't even offer your support in a backwards way to make me believe that you might help. You're so stupid. You can't even gain trust before you start to batter people down. You're backwards, Ziggy. In fact, they've got so many of you on here. It's always been the same since day one. On here we have a small slither of support for family, a small slither of support for fathers, a small slither of support for children, because we have the security services here protecting paedophiles. We protect a paedophile network in Scotland. We protect paedophiles and perverts in Scotland. That's all we protect. We make sure that online, when a father comes on, we have so many perverts and Freemasons and Catholic cult members that try and belittle the man. You're not going to be able to belittle men and fathers. You're not a man. You've had to take money to write horrible stuff about children. You're demanding stuff you do not deserve. Now I'm stopping now because I've only got 15% of phone charge left. If anybody's willing to press the likes and do the subscribe things, it's been really nice speaking to you this morning. I'm so glad that so many are interested in helping fathers and children, because we know that feminist charities should have their funding taken away. especially when it's court documented that child abuse is funded by Women's Aid, a funded Scottish charity. Court documented to say that I was a rapist and beat women, my ex-partner. This is a lie that I've proven in court. Thanks for the love going up the side of the screen. Thanks for your time today. So many have stayed with me for, what, an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours. I am so good. Let's read something Ziggy said. You see the truth is oh man, it's like, what's the... I think he's just repeating what he's saying, or I'm just repeating what he's saying. Why are you even talking if you can't have a discussion? Go and ask any other YouTube creator why they do something, or if you feel that doing something, consider in yourself, why am I thinking about doing this? Right now I do this, I don't get any money, it costs me money to do this and I can't afford food, so why would I do this? Why would I put myself in an even more vulnerable position right now? Why is this man going out? I'm selling my jacket today, so today you have the opportunity to win this jacket, which is going to be sold for £110. I've already said that, but you can own this today if you go on Vinted, and I'm sure that's going to be on the Budvig Glasgow account, because you should be eating the Budvig protocol, or the Budvig cream at least. Come on, I've just asked people to press like and subscribe. I know there's 100 people watching. Even if you just popped on, you're wondering why this guy is mumbling and it's nonsense. It's not mumbles and it's not nonsense. I'm here as a father. My children were abducted. The abduction took place through a funded charity called Women's Aid. The Women's Aid, good morning. The Women's Aid, the funded charity, are not ever going to reach out. They're not going to accept the fact that they should be broken up. They should disband. They should no longer offer what they call help, because it's there to break family. It's there to make children feel helpless. It's there to make fathers have nowhere to turn, and fathers right now have nowhere to turn. So if you need somewhere to turn, Unified Pain, come and speak to me. My name's Jody, I'm a father, my children have been abducted. I don't need to prove to you what or who I am. I come on here and speak when I decide is the right time to speak. Does that mean I'm doing what's right? I don't know what's right. Do you know what's right? Maybe think on that one. Don't go and think on that one, that doesn't make any sense. Go and do what you like, go and have fun today. But know that our children have in peace and our families growing together and respecting family. That's the only thing we can do. We know this is the most sinful and broken generation. We understand that families are going to break down. But that doesn't mean we should fund the charities to do it. It doesn't mean that we should fund Women's Aid to lie and abuse fathers and children. We shouldn't fund women just because they're willing to be lying piglets. We shouldn't fund lying pigs. And we are funding lying pigs. We are funding them. I question that. You can question me every day of the week, especially if I'm on here. I look forward to your questioning. I look forward to joining in and being able to have some back and forwards like this. I don't know why this morning I was allowed to... Sorry, I'm in pray fasting. Good luck with your fasting and your prayer today. I hope your prayers don't cease. I find it difficult to pray at times. If someone's willing to pray for me and my children, I really do appreciate that, if you're willing to say a prayer for us. Now I know there's going to be some women in Women's Aid that really do deserve help and need help. I hope you get the help you need, but I do hope we stop funding violent, feminist, fanatical women. We need to stop funding them. See, she said, and cheers for that. There are women here that want to stop that. There are women here that care about family and care about children. There's so many fathers here with their kids that show so much love and compassion, you can see it. They don't need to walk up and tell me. But at one point, if they ever suffer, if their children suffer that abduction, that abuse, and then they find out that a charity is funded to make sure that abuse and that abduction's carried out, I hope you're able to stand up every day and fight against the community and the system which allows it. And that's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing in my town. And this is my town. And the town you're in, that's your town. And you need to look after your town. And looking after your town means when we get funding, We make sure that funding goes to people that need it. It doesn't go to fanatical feminists. It doesn't go to Women's Aid. But women need help, but they don't need help to break up family. They don't need help to break up family. I hope your family's getting the help it needs. I hope your children's getting the rights it needs. I hope that the father in your family's a strong father, and I hope he's helped by the mother. But we should not fund women's charities to break fathers and to help hurt children. Women's Aid should not receive funding to abuse children. Fathers need to stick together. We need to know that they're breaking down the family unit and they're funding that breakdown. Take care. Thanks very much for your time today. I've spent so long on here today. Is it Falkirk? It's Barrhead. Just outside Glasgow. So any police willing to come along and cause me trouble, I'm willing to stand and speak to you. Any man or father, mother, willing to come along, I'm willing to speak. Hot drink or something to eat. I would like some hot food. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks very much for your time. Bye.